Madam, it's fine. That's fine. What you say? Okay. Okay.
ఇంకా డౌన్ చేసుకుంటారు. అది ఒక పాస్
ఇదే ఓకేనా? Okay, hopefully everyone's safe. So, good afternoon everyone.
గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ సార్.
I think afternoon sessions are some of the toughest sessions. The success of a speaker may come to make you not to sleep. I think hopefully I'll try to do it. So yeah, I think some of you have heard this session before. So, okay, it will be a kind of a repeat. Okay, let's get into it, the topic. So I am your super senior. So I consider myself as an ant. Ants usually don't have names, but each ant contribute and work towards making their respective ant colonies safe, sustainable, and thriving. I am here for a similar purpose. So basically, I came from Denver, Colorado, to attend my cousin's marriage. Since the last few weeks, two unexpected events happened in my family. So one of my sister, they're going back to their home. Someone hit them suddenly from the back, a rash driver. So which caused my sister to undergo a major surgery, and which made her to bedridden for 6 months. The first question she asked is, why? Because the bike, my brother-in-law, my sister, and my niece were going. So after accident, my sister asked the first question: is her daughter safe? Luckily, she's safe. So the next another incident is one of my cousin. She lives in Bangalore. So her daughter stepped out of the school bus. So some guy hit her, and that little girl needs to go through a major surgery. That was pretty tough for my cousin's family. She was literally crying. It's not the actual cry, but literally blood rolled out of her eyes. So why I'm saying these things is, everything is connected with respect to leadership. The same incident if you take in US, so any school bus, if it stops, like the back of the traffic, even though he or she is the president of America, he has to stand back, unless otherwise the bus goes green. So we have a few better systems in Western countries. So hopefully we'll try to make here in India as well, so that some of the kids or many families can be saved. So that's why which inspired me to give this talk on leadership. So personal leadership is the first step towards leadership. So when you ask why we need a personal leadership, so I believe and we all are capable of doing so many great things. So when we identify or realize the true potential what we have, we can all create wonders. Personal leadership simply acts like a GPS Google Maps to realize our true potential and be our absolute best. Why do people consider doctors as gods? Why? Because they know more about the body, the brain, how it operates, and they save people from pain and suffering. So we no need to become doctors, but at least when we know more about ourselves, so there is always a better chance to deal with ourselves in a better way. So yeah, that's mainly about personal leadership. I consider this like a iPhone. Some of you might have gifted iPhones by your family, right? So the first step is to use an iPhone is to unlock it. if you can't unlock an iPhone, we can't even use. And after that, if you are using an iPhone just for talking, nothing else, then what's the point in having the world's best smartphone? So when you know like how to use the iPhone to its best, so you can use all its features. Likewise, human body. So personal leadership helps us to understand some of the basic aspects of our life. Yeah, the first question comes, why leadership? So I'm here to continue my unfinished story in this college. So two main reasons. My family, friends, teachers have supported greatly for me to stand over here. Without their help and support, I wouldn't be standing over here. So the same support I would love to extend to my fellow juniors so that you can have a great life and career. So that's the main reason. The second reason is, so I think COVID crisis. So COVID crisis has impacted so many families. So how many of you guys, maybe you or your family or your friends, how many of you got impacted? Did anyone of you lose your loved ones during the COVID crisis? Okay, some of you. So the impact might be, like, for some of us, like it's a huge impact, but many of us has impacted a smaller or maybe higher. So my point is, leaders are the people who shapes the future. So they get us from adversaries into a normal state, and the success, like the failures into success. So they are responsible for driving our societies. Unless we choose and we have great leaders, the societies are going to be impacted hugely. So personal leadership is the first step and the foundation for leadership. Okay. So role models and friends acts a pretty important role in our lives. So they help us change our own life sometimes. We are considered the people who we are surrounded, average of 5 people is considered about us. What I mean is, so if the friends who are surrounding us is gonna change our habits, the words they use, whatever they're gonna do, it's gonna create an impact on us, consciously, subconsciously. So hopefully we all make right choices to be with the positive people, so that it creates positive impacts on us. So my role models are Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and Netflix story. I love movies. So Netflix story has played a huge role on how anyone gonna transform themselves to reorganize their organizations and thrive the organizations. So I have organized this session into 4 episodes. The first episode is going to talk about my own the challenges, my own life story. Followed by self-realization, the challenges I faced, and the final episode would be a personal transformation. My parents never finished their primary school, so they always wanted me and my sister to have a great schooling in English medium. So they live in a remote village, so they took a tough decision to leave me with my grandparents. So every morning, my grandfather used to take me into the school on his bicycle, and evening my grandmother used to accompany me. So evening she used to ask me one question. So either I can have sugarcane juice, or with that money, so we can go on a bus. So I always pick sugarcane juice instead of going on a bus. So from childhood onwards, it created an awareness of the importance of money. So throughout my school, I always struggled in getting marks or clearing subjects. So many years I failed in so many subjects, but a miracle happened during my 6th grade. One of my engineer uncle, at that time he came to my home during Pongal holidays. So it was like 3rd unit in the school. So he has explained all the subjects, and Literally, I got 20 plus out of 25 in that specific exam. So I was pretty much surprised. How could I do this? It's unbelievable for me. Once he left, I continued my poor performance. So later, because of tuitions and all these things, I passed all subjects in 10th grade. After that, another miracle happened. My father has put me in a residential college in Vijayawada. The college fees was 35,000 rupees, which literally blown away my mind. Why? Because that's a huge amount. So because of the money part, I did my best in the next 2 years so that I got a free seat in Goodwill Engineering College and secured 92% in intermediate. So that's not a pretty good scoring right now, but at that time it was a decent score. The next thing is I got this college. I got little bit relaxed. So in no time, in the blink of eye, like all the 4 years are completed and we are out of the college. So I could clear GATE exam, and after that I went to Bangalore for in search of jobs. In college, I have attempted all the interviews. So I literally failed in 24 attempts, be it in the written test, group discussions, interviews, or HR rounds. So yeah, even at that time, like 25th attempt was on TCS. I absolutely don't have any confidence to attempt the written test. Why? Because for 15,000 people were attempting the same exam. So my uncle has called me and he told, okay, just go and give the exam. Why? Because I don't have any confidence so that I'll clear the written test among a huge competition. So I attempted. Once I am out of the exam hall, so almost everyone hold the same question paper which I wrote over there. Maybe I thought it's going to be a +1 in my failure count. But luckily TCS what they did is they have put an upper cutoff and lower cutoff. People who has answered all the questions didn't get through, but luckily I was able to get through. So all the previous 24 failures has prepared me so that I was able to clear the next rounds. Out of 15,000 people, 650 aspirants were able to get through. I was one of them. Yeah, I consider that as one of the luckiest thing that has happened. And after that, I joined TCS Chennai. So after first year, because of the hustle bustle of the software life, I asked question like, is it the right thing I'm supposed to do? I fall in love with the food industry and I want to have my own food production startup. But as I came from middle class background, my parents clearly told you have to earn your own my own money. So I went to on-site, I have earned my money, and I came back to Hyderabad and I started a startup called Food for You. So we did experiments of all sorts, of food truck, delivering to software companies. We used to provide food for in events, software catering, everything. Swiggy, Zomato, everything we could do. Literally in those 2 years, we burned 2 crores, and that was with zero profit. So that was one of the toughest time to face, and I have learned a lot from that experience. After the end of 2 years, we were able to do reasonably well, and we stood as one of the topmost online food delivery partners in Hyderabad, Kondapur area. After that, I got my US visa and I moved to US. I picked the IT job later, and COVID happened. We all moved to work from home, and because of this crisis and all these things, it created a huge impact on me because my entire family got COVID at that time. So it was one of the toughest moments to face. And I was researching more about leadership, how different countries have really tackled this pandemic. So which gave me new insights, and after that it made me strong so that I have to raise my voice so that we can form leaders so that we can handle things in a better way. When we sow a seed, that's the right time put water, all kinds of nutrients at that time. So I consider student life is the best time to reap the leaders of the future. So that's why I'm here. So yeah, so do you know the phrase reinvent the wheel? What do you mean by that? Anyone? Is this one? So the first step to solve any problem is to realize there is one. Unless we realize, so we can't even fix anything. Yeah, we have to identify like what are the problems or challenges we are dealing with. So unless we realize, there is no moving forward. So the reinvent the field phrase means putting a huge amount of energy in creating something which is already existed. Which means we no need to reinvent the wheel. We can just simply use it. So we all are gifted every day with so many things. We no need to raise the crops, like all the products and services, whatever we are seeing, we don't do anything. Simply if we know how to use it, that's it. You can crack the code. The next thing is attitude and mindset. So why do you think DJ Tillu, Bahubali, Dhoni movies got so huge hit? Why? Because the heroes literally lived in those characters. Attitude is the key. And mindset. Mindset brings me to an amazing, remembers me an amazing person in all our lives, mother. Even though it's her first time delivering a baby, the very moment a baby arrives, she becomes an entirely different person. She shows so much of care, love and affection. The mindset is everything. So she is mother is the most wonderful human being on this entire planet. So we should learn a lot from her mindset. The third thing is practice. So everyone says practice makes perfect. So, but do we really practice? Hardly. So I'm gonna illustrate a simple example. This is called a case study, a ceramics case study. So a professor during the start of the semester, he divides his entire class into two groups. The first group will be graded on the basis of the quality of the pots they make. The second group will be graded on the quantity of the pots they make. By end of the semester, the students who worked on the quantity were able to successfully produce a better quality products than the team who exclusively worked on quality. The quality group, they focused on how to make the best pot. So they are pretty good in writing the theories, but practically the quantity group were able to produce the best quality pot. What I mean is, so it's always a challenge to identify what exactly we want to do in our life. So you have got like 4 years in BTech. I think you consume 2 years. For the next 2 years, if you can identify one activity, whatever that is, be it photography, be it coding, be it dancing, or whatever you love, if you're going to practice for the next 2 years, day in and day out, you will become an expert. So it is really important to find what exactly you love. At least one hobby or one interest that makes you special and unique. Why? I'm gonna say it next. Once I want to share about my IIT Madras experience. One of my friend was doing MTech in IIT Madras, so he invited me over there. And few key things I observed in the IITians. So the first thing is 3 questions arise. What is the difference between IITians and the normal college days like me? The second thing is why Silicon Valley was able to produce so many startups and they stood top of the world. The third thing is networking. What's the difference between IITians and the normal college students? So, IITians has already saw success. For example, if you get a first rank in your entire life, so you always tend to get the first rank or you will be in the top zone. So, we need to experience success at least once in our life so that it keeps us energized and pumped up. Second thing is they have a strong basics. Whatever they learn, most of them, they learn from the first principles. Foundation should be strong. So yeah, and third point is like they network a lot. If you see any of the startups or the elite college, everyone does now. But so if you have great networking, so it's gonna open an entire new world of opportunities for us. Why? Because we have alumni, we have so many other mentors who would be willing to contribute or help you. Unless we network with them, so we cannot really take the help. I want to mention 2 points over here. So, first, we all will be dealing with so many challenges in our life. One of my friends, he has not a flat foot. I think most of us have got a curvy foot. So normal shoes would fit us okay. But flat foot people, normal shoes doesn't fit them correctly. Well, my friend always had a challenge. If he goes for a run, it hurts him because of the normal shoe. After that, in US, he identified a specific store who can customize shoes for the flat foot portions. So after that, like he enjoyed running and doing a lot of physical activities. And another story I want to share. This has happened in Vijayawada. So a high school girl committed a suicide. So each time she goes to her terrace, she lives in an apartment. So to dry up the clothes, an elder person touches her inappropriately. She wrote a letter and she committed a suicide. The point here is, death or suicide is not the solution for anyone. So that little poor girl couldn't express her pain to anyone. If at least she could have told her pain to her mother or parents or teachers or friends, someone, rather than ending her life abruptly, she could have a better life. My point is, we all sometimes, because of these stats called introverts or extroverts, introverts are considered to keep everything within themselves. Yeah, maybe we may not speak to the entire world, but at least we should have someone in our life, a friend or a mother or a sibling or a teacher we trust. At least if you are open to them, so these kind of challenges can be dealt in a better way. So, do you guys at least talk to any one of your friends? If you have any challenge, so do you at least talk to your friends? Okay. Yeah, that's maybe 90% of the people, students talk to other people, that's okay, but at least those 10% of the people who are not talking to anyone, it's high time you at least express yourself with family member or some of your friends. So we always uncomfortable to speak about the biological activities. Like maybe I don't know how far, like how many people are comfortable talking about periods or wearing a inner wear. The right side of the inner wear or so, some kind of a thing. So at least someone can help us. So there are so many challenges which throughout my schooling and career I faced so many challenges. Some of them is like the sport, few of them communication. Even though I studied in English medium, I always had a challenge in talking in English, writing in English, and expressing myself in English. So I used to by heart a lot in the sense the whole book. I want to fill in the maximum pages, so I used to by heart everything, and I used to fill in the pages in the we used to have 3 hours in an exam. So that's the worst thing I have regretted for the rest of my life. How I overcome the problem is, once I completed my studies, I started writing. So I used to write good letters, emails, blogs, and I keep scribbling in the WhatsApp or some notes. So that later part of my career, I was able to write well, at least. The second thing is reading. So reading used to be a huge challenge. So if I read for 5 or 10 minutes, I get sleep. I don't know how to handle during my studies at that time, but unless I have an exam, I used to get sleep. So after that, I converted that weakness into my strength. I have a habit of listening to radio and watch TV so many hours and hours, just like most of you. So we have the softwares called text to speech. So if you can upload anything, maybe a PDF or it has got a Chrome browser. So you give anything as an input, it's gonna read it aloud for us. So I converted reading into listening. And the third thing is speaking. So I used to do uncomfortable things. Even this is not comfortable, seriously. So once you come on over here and speak, I saw some of you coming and speaking in your respective classrooms. So you guys did much better than me. But it's okay. It's pretty good if you make yourself uncomfortable so that you will learn from your mistakes or you get shivered, that's okay. So things will settle down slowly. So and the second thing is D-Day exam night. What it means is, I used to afraid a lot about the exams. Even after I completed my B.Tech, so I used to wake up early morning, it's all of a sudden thinking I have an exam. But I don't have any exams and I used to tell, okay, Anish, just sleep back. There are no more exams in your life. So that kind of a trauma developed during my B.Tech, but I didn't realize at that time, but later it impacted me. And I never observed my behavior. So during the exams, I always think, okay, next semester onwards, from day one onwards, I'm going to study. But always used to happen, even at the last one day, I didn't study. Last minute, all I used to do. So, but after that, why I behaved like that, I understood after reading the book, The Power of Habit. So it clearly, the author explains how we behave, how we form habits, so such kind of things, which I will be explaining later on. The procrastination is another challenge. So I always used to plan to do things, but hardly used to complete them. So after that, I used Google Notes, maintain to-do list and reminders and schedules so that I will complete the task on time. So finding passion is the really the most important thing. Why? Because if we are not going to find a passion, we will be working for end of our life, until end of our lives. So we generally work for 2000 weeks. So we live for 4000 weeks, our human life, average lifespan. In 2000 weeks, we work. So it's important to find the passion. Unless otherwise, we will be working for the rest of our lives, thinking and getting bored and accumulating all the negative energy. So many people, like you ask many software professionals or so many people, they really don't like what they do, but still they do it. Why? Because they never ask the right questions. Do I really love this job? Do I really like this, whatever I'm doing? So it's okay, initially you can pick up any career, but at least you have to ask these kind of questions. So that unless you pick the best career, we cannot give the best. So how do you find a passion? We have to try different things. So during my interaction with NIT Tadepalli, one student asked me, she is in ECE, and she asked like if I need to pick a career in ECE core branch or in IT. Yeah, it's a tough question to answer, but what I suggested her is like she is in her third year, she has 2 more years. So she can try internships. So she can 1 year, she can go to ECE core related branch internship and she can try that thing. And 4th year, she can accept an internship in an IT company. Experience is the best teacher. Unless you eat or taste biryani, you cannot exactly say. Even though you read 100 books, that's not going to help. We have to eat biryani to understand its taste. Likewise, we have to try multiple things, maybe interests or whatever you name it, to find the right career which suits your aspirations. Okay. So this is the final episode. So personal transformation. This is a key. So we all know the properties of water. The best part about water is it fits in any vessel. You take any container, okay, be it a small bottle or big bottle, it just fits exactly into that container. So personal transformation is a journey of transforming ourselves into the desired personality. So there are four steps of in personal transformation. First thing is information. On a daily basis, we get huge amounts of information. So some of the information may be relevant or not relevant. The second thing is motivation. The second step. So even though we are motivated, like that doesn't stick longer. So like you listen to this speech or someone will speak a great speech, but it doesn't stick unless we are transformed. So there are two types of motivation: intrinsic or extrinsic. So if you break an egg from outside, it becomes an omelette. But if it breaks from inside, a chick comes out of it. So that's the same thing. So motivation comes from inside. The third thing is inspiration. So whenever we see movies, Hrithik Roshan or whoever that is, Arjun Reddy or whatever it is, we get inspired. Sometimes, like few weeks we go to gym, but that doesn't stick so long. The final step is transformation. This is the key. Some people will have health challenges, diabetics or heart attacks, whatever it is, or some families will have severe financial crisis. At that time, the students or the family members has to do well. Failure is not the option. At that time, they completely transform to save themselves. But I'm gonna like share like how can we do this transformation by a process. So okay. So know thyself. Did anyone of you watch this movie? Oh, good. 50 first dates. So let me just tell the story of this. So the hero meets the heroine in a restaurant. That's a kind of first date love side. Love at first sight. Sorry. So the point is, so they had a great first day, and after that, the next day when the hero meets the heroine, she just behaves as if he's a stranger. So by the time the hero already builds a huge kingdom, dream world and whatever that is, but he doesn't understand. She's behaving just as if she doesn't know him. He goes to her family and they say the heroine met with an accident. Unfortunately, she doesn't remember the present. She only remembers her past until that day before that accident. And after that onwards, she recycles her memory every day. So the hero doesn't understand like how to handle this thing, right? Because every day he has to introduce to the heroine as if he's a new person, and he has to try so many things. So if you watch the movie, that's so incredible. And finally he comes up with a solution so that heroine remembers him every day. Technically that is not possible, but he finds a solution for that. So that's a great movie. What I mean is know thyself. Know thyself means to know more about ourselves. So most of the times we think we know about ourselves, but we don't understand ourselves completely. So, yeah. So basically, what do you mean by knowing ourselves? Knowing ourselves with respect to our body, the importance of physical exercise, the importance of mental health, and picking the right career, and how to acquire the skills which are relevant to us. So there are so many aspects. Does any one of you know why do we sleep? Does any one of you know why do we sleep? 1%. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. It happens only after you fall asleep. So, okay. No, if anyone wants to tell like why do you sleep, if anyone knows, raise your hands. Okay. So basically, yeah, I'll tell why we sleep. So throughout the day, we accumulate so many memories. So by end of the day, the brain, what it does is, it will clear unwanted memories. For that, it really requires huge memory, a huge processing capacity. So what it does is, it puts the body to sleep and it does its housekeeping activities. Maybe it activates us, it re-energizes, it boosts our immunity. There are so many good benefits, but usually we don't give enough priority to sleep. But if you sleep well, that's going to help you a lot the next day. So I'm gonna tell another story. I was raised by my grandmother. So during one of my weekends, I went to my grandmom's home. She was pretty sick at that time, and she couldn't move. She needs to taken to the hospital. We live in first floor, so no one is there to. She is little heavy. We couldn't move her down. So I was able, I don't know what made me, I lifted her and I brought her all the way from first floor to the auto. And after that I realized, yes, if we can make a good body or something, it's not only helpful for us, but our loved ones as well. Maybe you usually see, right, a lot of harassments and so many things happens with girls. So if you have the courage and if you're gonna take your punch and if you're gonna knock the person whoever misbehaves with you, like they're gonna be afraid of doing the same activity again. So physical exercise and physical energy is really important for us to keep us intact. So basically personal transformation is a kind of a journey. So here I'm gonna talk about a story of. You heard of a communication tool called Slack? Slack. So Slack is a company. So initially they used to produce computer games. So initially they were unable to get profitability in the computer games. During that entire process, for their internal communication, they have come up with a Slack tool just for messaging purpose. Once they failed in the gaming industry, so what they did is they put this messaging tool as their primary business and they started selling this for communication. And they launched it pretty good and they were successful in doing that. What I mean is, the process, if you believe in the process, so we're gonna learn a lot. So on the journey should make it more interesting. Even the personal transformation, it should be a journey. So that someone doesn't push us to wake up in the morning, pick up some exercise or yoga. So if we're gonna do that, it's gonna help us, but how we are supposed to do it, it's entirely up to us. But what my point is, I'll tell you better. So winning biology is the first step in personal transformation. So there are three aspects. First thing is physical aspect. The second is winning our own self, the mental aspect. And the third thing is when we understand what we do or why we do, it helps us to make good use of our own time. So second thing is life purpose and goals. Identifying the life purpose and goals is pretty important. If you are driving in a car or a bike and if you don't know where you are going, can you make your journey? You all came to this college, right? Did you ever thought why you are in this college? What is the purpose behind this? Okay, parents will do. That's a different story. Okay, so they all want us to have a great life. So we can have a great life in doing so many things. But the point is, we all should at least ask some of the questions. Okay, what kind of a goals we have? If we don't have some, we have to set at least a little goals. We complete the project or something in line to your aspirations. Okay, all of a sudden, if someone asks you to do something, you will obviously never do it. But a few goals will inspire you. For those things, at least if you're gonna keep some targets, that's gonna help us. Unless we have a purpose or a goal, we are not going to do anything. So the third step is habits, routines, and choices. On average, an adult makes 35,000 decisions on a day. Consciously or unconsciously, every second we keep on thinking something. So most of the time what we do is we think either about our past or about your future. So mindfulness is one thing which helps us to live in the present. So in the book Power of Habit, the author mentions like how can we form good habits. So everything starts by a cue. So we get a signal. So we see a mobile phone, we feel like playing something or scrolling the social media. We take an action and finally we get some pleasure. So once we do multiple times, that becomes a habit. Habit can be good or bad. We don't even realize many times. But that's how we keep doing the same activities, and overall, like brushing is one activity which we do automatically. Did you watch the movie Matrix? Okay, perfect. Then you guys understand what is a red pill or a blue pill. So we all have choices. The choices we make will decide our future. So you all can end up completing your BTech with a 30K job or 30 lakhs job, or creating your own startup and getting an admission into Stanford or Harvard, whatever you want. But everything depends on the choices which you take from today onwards for the next 2 years. So once you have kind of a conscious about your choices, that makes all the difference. Why? Because during the exams, most of the interesting things happens. So new movies, cricket matches, lot of new content in OTT just released before the exam time. So there are always two voices. First voice say whispers, okay, watch it, enjoy. But the second voice whispers, read for the exam. Whichever voice dominates, that's gonna create our future. Yes, I think these people request no introduction. So Microsoft and Apple. So we do have 16 lakh engineers coming out of engineering college every year, and 2 crores young people joining the workforce every year. Unless you guys create jobs, it's pretty hard for them to get employment. So what I mean is, if you look at the first picture, Bill Gates. So he believed in computers, and his mantra is make computers usable. At that time, computers used to reside in huge buildings and blocks. It's pretty hard. Like it's not for daily use or common man usage. So he believed in the mantra, let first make the computers usable, and afterwards people are gonna use it. So here our funda should be, if we can make the students leaders, so they will not sit idle. So making students leaders is our funda. Like that's what I believe. That's our mantra. That should be our mantra. So once you are pumped up and once you have skills, for sure you will not sit idle. Assume if you are a cricketer, your mind always stays in the ground. If you are a photographer, you always think about taking awesome photographs. That's why we have to acquire skills, which really makes interesting. The second photograph is Steve Jobs. Do you know the other person who sits besides Steve Jobs? Anyone? Anyone? At least one. Okay. So the other person is Steve Wozniak. So they are the founders of Apple. Steve Jobs is pretty good at selling anything. So Steve Wozniak is good at making things. So if we can identify the right team, many times we can't do everything by ourselves. We really need a team, at least 2 people or 3 people, to share our thoughts, to discuss and to make the ideas a reality. And Apple has started in Steve Jobs' garage. So if you have a great idea, any idea, first thing is we should start doing it. It can be as simple as that. Maybe start doing some 30 minutes short video or something if you really love it. So over the time you will become an expert in it. But doing is pretty important. So I would like to mention 3 points over here. Do any one of you know what's the difference between a teacher and a preacher? Maybe I should ask some person or something so that you will get an answer. Do you have a mic? No, anyone. If anyone knows, like, what is the difference between a teacher and a preacher? I'll be quick. Okay. Let me just finish it fast. So a teacher shares the information. A preacher shares the things he or she practices. So what is the difference between a dreamer and a doer or a leader? A dreamer always dreams, but a leader, he makes things happen. He takes action every day. So what's the difference between a speaker and an entrepreneur? A speaker just speaks his vision, but an entrepreneur makes his dreams into a reality. So I wish you all become great leaders and entrepreneurs so that you can be helpful to so many people. So many people are really waiting for your help to make our community stronger. So how do you do these things is, we all have same time. So 24 hours a day, 8 hours we sleep, 2 hours housekeeping activities, we are left with 14 hours. 14 hours, if you're gonna spend consciously, like if you do exactly what you think you want to do, that makes all the difference. Without our knowledge, we are born. We age, we grow, and we die. The only thing within our control is to take action and flow along with the time. This time passes like a wind. We can't control it, but when we take action, we get the desired results. In the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the author explains how can we organize our time. So focusing on the urgent and important things, followed by non-urgent and non-important things. So this is a short summary of Steve Jobs' Stanford presentation. So connecting the dots. What do you mean by connecting the dots? Believing destiny. So the point is, only we know about our life. So when we look back our past, we know what has happened so that we can connect the future. And we got to find what we love. If we don't love what we do, then we'll be working for the rest of our lives. So it's really important to find what we really love. How do you find what you love? So that's really important. So if today is our last day on this planet Earth, then whatever we are doing today, that defines this is the right thing we are doing. And if we are not doing the right thing on our last day, then we have to switch to something else. Death. So when we all die one day, the fact everyone knows. But the point is, everyone has got a limited amount of time. Steve Jobs, he has tons of money, billionaire, but he was given only 56 years of life. That's it. Nothing more, nothing else. He has to do what he has to do in that 56 years of life. Similarly, until COVID, we all thought, many thought we have like next 100 years. That's not entirely true. Time is pretty limited. And if we understand the fact, we take daring decisions. In front of death, everything falls short. So we will do what we want to do. The next is time. So the point here is, most of the times we do what other people do. Be it parents or we live someone else's dreams or someone else's life. It's high time we live our own personal life rather than doing what someone says. The final thing is, stay hungry, stay foolish. Necessity is the mother of invention. Curiosity is the father of innovation. So we should always have the little child alive in ourselves, so that we always start taking those little baby steps. We do new challenges, we take up new challenges and we do new activities. Unless we believe we are a child, that's not entirely possible, right? Because we are afraid of so many things. So this is the final slide. Okay, so I think you will be relieved. Okay. So the point is, so whenever I am low, so when I am not confident, rocket always inspires me. So why? Because until that point of time, going out of Earth is practically impossible. But NASA, using rockets for the first time, they flew out of the Earth and set a foot on Moon. That was an impossible task until that time, but with a great team, they were able to make it happen. So let's be the change we all wish to see in this world. The quote of Mahatma Gandhi. So let's take action and become awesome leaders. So yeah, final slide. What's next? During my entire schooling, college, and software life, so I hardly know what are the challenges which I am facing. But at that time, I don't even know to whom to talk. But later, I have slowly figured out by asking so many questions. So what I want to do is, I want to help you guys. If you have any challenge, so I'll be going back to US next week. Every Sunday, I'm gonna keep 30 minutes of my time open for all my juniors. If you have any challenge, be it career, be it relationships, be it learning a new technology, or if you have a startup idea, how you wanna make it into a reality, anything, okay, I'll keep that window open. So that's my email ID, and this is the Discord channel. How many of you are in Discord? Do you use Discord? No one? Okay. Okay, the beauty about Discord is you don't need to mention your real names or anything. So you can have a digital or virtual avatar. Only you can ask questions. So no names, nothing. No one knows our identity. That's the best thing to ask questions. So yeah, that's it pretty much. So if you have anything, please feel free to contact me either on email ID or on the Discord channel, so that I'm ready to help you guys. Thank you very much.